Hey, Scrapper Names fans, and welcome back to a new process video. I have this really cool, very happy with this one, 12 by 12 layout with a big hint of mixed media and a cut file. So I'm scrapbooking this photo, which I absolutely love this photo of my son. It was taken at the end of last year when we went to a nephew's birthday at a zoo down the coast, up the coast, one or the other. Yeah, and he's holding a duckling, and it's just, I don't know, just the look on his face, it's a really sweet photo. So what I'm doing, I have got a star background cut file that's an exclusive cut file for the month of May at Kitaholic Kits. I did a whole heap of batch cutting of, well, as much as I could actually yesterday, because my blade, I think, in my Cameo needs to be replaced, so it plays up after a few cuts. So yes, so I am just putting some white gesso or clear gesso onto my cardstock in the part. You can't see it very well, I know, at the moment. And I'm using this Periwinkle Blue ink spray. I've sprayed my cardstock after I dried it, the gesso, with just water, just to try this technique. It's a bit of an old school inky quill one. I was watching some older inky videos last night, and it just inspired me to give it a go. I can never do the technique right, and I think I know what I do wrong. I don't dry it in between sort of layers as such. So this one worked better, and I really love the way it looked. Now, I wanted to use a green, but the ink spray didn't work. So this stain, like Dauber green, I think is it Cracked Pistachio, maybe? Or Lucky Clover, maybe. One of those two. So as you can see, I've just daubed it on there, and whilst it doesn't have the same, I think, effect that a spray mist has, it still managed to work and do what I wanted it to do, which was, I think the water obviously they activate the ink, and they sort of meld together really well. And so, yeah, I really like the way this turned out. I really love this background. So just sopped up a little bit of the excess ink and water and things so it doesn't go too bad. Dried it, and then now trying the splattering type technique where you get some water on your fingers and just splatter it along. Now, that worked probably not as good as it could for some more of those of us that are in the mixed media world, but as I said, I don't do this technique very often at all. I love the effect of it, but I always get frustrated it's not the way that I want it to be, but this one worked well. But basically splattering that water back on reactivates the ink in that spots, and then it leaves a sort of modelly kind of look. It looks really cool, and that green went really well, I think. And I just let it run a little bit, the ink run a little bit around sort of the star cut file bit. I didn't bother gessoing that part because I thought I'd leave that white because I knew I'd back the page onto some more cardstock. I also have trimmed down the white cardstock a bit. I think probably about maybe half an inch on each side. Roughly, just so I can mat it onto this pattern paper from the Coco Vanilla Studio Legendary Collection, which was last month's Kitaholic kit. So I'm just using up some of my past kit before I dive into the new kit, which is already sitting open there on my desk that you can see at the top of the video. So just using some double-sided tape to stick down, which the white cardstock was a bit bubbly. It had started to sort of bubble a little bit, like warp. So when I go to stick this down, I sort of had to push it down. But where the stars are, it actually gives a really nice shadowing effect. So I was really happy it didn't just stick completely flat in the end. It had worked really well. I like the way that it looked. I need to fill my ATG tape runner. So I have a scrapbook.com cart ready to go for when I get paid. So I'm going to get some more ATG. I can't seem to find it anywhere here in Australia, and it drives me bonkers. So I'm just going to order it. It's cheaper over there, and I'll just have it sent in with, a few other goodies that are there as well. Why not? So keep your eyes peeled. I might do a haul in a couple of weeks when it arrives. So I then thought my photo needed something to break it from the background. I just felt it didn't pop enough. So then I thought I would use some tissue paper, just giving a little bit of texture to the back of the photo. And again, inspired a bit by the lovely Inky Quill. And just matting it onto that. Instead of just putting white cardstock there as well to create that background. And then I had this leftover piece of pattern paper from the Legendary collection that was in the kit from last month. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to use it up and matte my photo. Now, it's a nice different tone of blue from the background, so it doesn't sort of clash with it. It doesn't, mix in with it too badly. So, and then I actually, as you can see, popped my photo on some craft foam so that in between the layers of the tissue paper and the pattern paper, there's a bit of dimension, and adding to that sort of shadowing, I think, on the page, which really makes the photo pop from that mixed media background. So as I said, I wasn't sure where I was going to go with this layout, and I sort of contemplated on whether or not I would just use, not have a cut file, but I thought, why not? I wanted to use this cut file. I really love this one, and I thought, why not mix the two together, the mixed media technique and the cut file? And as I said, I love the result. I managed to do this layout and another one this afternoon, so I had some little bit of scrapping time, which was really awesome, because I don't get a lot of that during the week. So I try and get some videos filmed and keep on top of it so that I can have some videos up on my channel for those of you who are loyal subscribers that watch my videos, which is lovely. Alright, so I love the way that has now just really popped up off the page, and it's really given the layout some dimension. I also knew that I probably wouldn't have a lot of dimensional embellishments going on the page. I sort of was using leftover embellishments from the kit from last month, and there wasn't really any dimensional ones, so I thought that would just add that extra interest to my layout. Just making sure it sticks down. One thing I noticed, even when you use wet glue on a background like this, is it may not, if you don't sort of hold it down so it really sticks and adheres, it will look like it's lifting the photo itself. So I think later on in the video I actually come back and have to push it down a little bit more because it looks like it's not quite sticking enough. So just, be mindful of that, I guess. What am I doing? So I'm going through some leftover embellishments from the Legendary die cut kit pack, and just using up some which unfortunately I just realised is out of focus or out of frame a little bit, but there was a bigger one. I think it says Explore the Great Outdoors maybe, and I just attached it with my stapler just for something a bit different. Again, some more pieces there from the Legendary pack. And using the wet glue as I've said before, because of the fact that there's mixed media and gesso on that background, so tape may not adhere to it very well. So I'm just making sure that it does. I'm just adding some more pieces. I've added 3 sort of pieces there. So one in that top corner, right corner, then another one just above the photo there, that sticker, and then another one at the bottom of that photo, just sort of creating a bit of a triangle and making it look really balanced. And just going through the printables now. As you can see, I still had a fair bit left. So some of them I'm kind of saving for, because there was Easter theme, so I'm just keeping some for Easter layouts. But there was a mix of, a bit of Easter and a bit of boys. So I've cut out one that was on that little strip that was a little green car. And I do pop that down the bottom on some craft foam as well. It's the only one I do add the craft foam to. I just didn't feel it looked right being flat. I don't know why, it just didn't. And then I save you the hassle of watching me fussy cut out some flowers. So it sort of will cut to where I have flowers on my page all of a sudden. They're from the printable, so I have to fussy cut those out. And I hate fussy cutting. I feel like it takes me forever to fussy cut. So there we go. So I've got 2 little blue tone flowers there in that left corner. And then I pop a little star as well underneath. See, there you go. So I've just got to re-stick my photo. Well, not re-stick it, but really push it down and it stays on. Nice and flat. What am I doing now? Cutting more out, maybe. Maybe that's what I'm doing here. I wasn't sure how many flowers I would add to the layout, but because of all the stars on that right-hand side, I don't put a lot of embellishments on. I have these tiny little clusters and that's it. Otherwise, it just looks too much. And as I said, I loved the way the background turned out, so I didn't want to cover it up. So I've just popped, that's what I'm doing. I've added this little tag down the bottom, this little label, and I have journaled on it, potentially. Yes. And now I'm just going to use these leftover wood grain thickers to add my title, which was just Sweet Boy. And then I decided using my new, the Staedtler brush markers, I decided that I would write of mine. So I practiced my brush lettering, but nonetheless it's worth a shot, I guess. And I do go around the letters with the brush marker as well, just because I wanted to play with the brush marker, and I thought that it would just really tie them into the blue a bit more. And I really wasn't sure how it was going to work, whether it would be a bit of an epic fail, but I think it looks okay. Here we go. It doesn't look too bad. And as I said, I wasn't 100% sure, but it works, I think. Just gives it a little extra pop. And then I think my layout is just about finished. I think I'll add some gold splatters because, well, why not? And then I think we're done, maybe? Yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I add anything else after the splatters. So yeah, I will have a bit of a close-up in a sec for you, and then some still photos at the end. As I said, I loved this layout. It is definitely one of my faves. The background turned out the way I wanted it to so much, and yeah, it worked. So yay, gotta love when those moments happen. But again, thank you so much for sticking around and tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you like what you see, hit the like button. And yeah, if you've got any questions or comments, leave them below. And I will see you again soon with another video. Bye for now, everyone. Thank you.
Artlist.io